Oh,
I was going to say, I'd actually, spoken to Ms. Fabiano about this, and a few months back, I'd actually brought up they have a parent academy and stuff. This is a little bit different from that because I remembered how my grandparents used to take classes, there were ballroom dancing classes and things like that. And then when I saw it, on social media, it sort of re-triggered it in my brain. And so, I said, this is something we can talk about. And by no means was it, we need to institute this right now. One thing that I saw and then I actually heard yesterday was that the senior center and the library offer a lot of programs, which they absolutely do. I'm at the library at least once a week with my kids. I adore the programs there, and my parents have done some things at the senior center now. But one thing that I have noticed is that everything is done during the day there. So at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, there are occasional evening programs at the library, but the senior center doesn't have a lot of them in the evening.
Not past 6.
Better.
Yeah.
The other thing is that I know there was the concern about cost, and ultimately we don't want to do anything where we're going to lose money without knowing the history of it, which you guys probably know better than I would. I know that they were charged tuition for these classes. So I wasn't, looking at that, I didn't know if that's something where if there's an interest, right? So if the residents, if we sent out a survey, would this be something you're interested in? If they'd be willing to pay enough where maybe it could be something that creates revenue, which again, isn't something we should be doing as our primary thing. Is that a possibility? So that was sort of, where it came from. By no means was it, let's get this started today. It was just sort of bringing it up as a discussion.
So it was actually discussed in both finance and curriculum.
Okay.
Which is good. So Ms. Allen did provide information. Not only was it a program that we, not only did we not break even, but it cost us money.
Right.
So it was a program that wound up becoming a deficit to the districts. The cost that's involved with staffing it, there were at the time, I've been here long enough to know this, so there was a director. We also had to have room allocation. When we had certain rooms being utilized, they couldn't be utilized for other groups that were perhaps coming in and paying a different rate, because we always have the difference in the rates as per our policy, the way how things work. And it was just wanted being a cost that outweighed its benefit. So I think that it's also a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
Staffing wise, which one of us, who's responsible, what does it mean? And at this point, it's not something that we absolutely are not ready to take on. But more importantly, is we'd have to look at a fee structure that would be not only enough to help us sustain the program, but we would have to be bringing in revenue, because we are not at a point where we can afford any of the costs, whether it be maintenance, cleaning up. One of the things that we always talk about when we changed the fee structure, because our fee structure was extremely low, and I came on and did that as acting. I believe I was still acting in that position. When we changed the fee structure is because we were so much cheaper than our neighboring districts I'm not talking about our Monroeians, our neighboring districts who do not live here were coming here to utilize our facilities, not their own, because we were so cheap. So when we changed our fee structure, in order to, forget about just, bringing in revenue, but also covering our costs, people couldn't believe the fee structure and how it had to be changed, because we were so cheap. So these are the kinds of conversations that if this ever became something we want to move forward with, it's a major undertaking and it's extremely costly. Air conditioning, heating. The other thing people don't realize is, sanitize. We clean everything. Yeah, I was going to go to that. So we clean everything, and then, for our children, then we have people coming and use our facilities, depending on the fee structure. Or do we have enough money to pay the custodians for the shift to come back, re-clean it again? And then we have really been passionate, and by adding, and I want to thank the Board of Ed, because you're the ones that approve it, by adding on security. We have the attitude of, well, it's not our program. No, I know that's a double negative, but everything that happens in our buildings becomes ours. It's our buildings. So then you have security, and then we'd have to look at the fee structure of what tier is this group going to be? How is this group going to be? Are they going to be ours? So I think that, right now there is a lot of fabulous activities. Dr. Roselle works very, very closely with the library. She does a great job. So we have a lot for a lot of different groups of people. So it's not something I think that we should move forward on now. That being said, it's always a conversation. There's nothing wrong with a conversation. But, Ms. Allen is the one that shared with us that we lost money.
And